Thanks for being here ahead of one of the busiest weekends for traffic on our roadways. But unfortunately, as we see often, this time of year is often one of the most deadly on our roadways as well. This is an opportunity for us to raise attention to this issue and alert the public to the crisis we're seeing on our roadways. This crisis, as we know, is being fueled by speeding, intoxication, and often just poor decision making by drivers behind the wheel. When it comes to crashes, though, there's one type of crash that is often the most deadly and most injury-inducing, and those are head-on, wrong-way crashes on our interstate highway system, often at night and often at high rates of speed. 2022 was not only the deadliest year on our roadways in recent history since the 1980s, but it was also the year when wrong-way crashes killed 23 individuals, more than ever before in our history. Governor Lamont and our legislature came together to invest in a best practice that we know saves lives. So last year, Public Act 23-51 called on ConnDOT to install life-saving wrong-way driving technology, something we had been doing, but not to such an extent, and equip that with flashing red lights and alert the state police as well as our Highway Operations Center. The mandate from the legislature was to hit 120 ramps before 2025. Today, I'm proud to announce that our crews have surpassed that goal, successfully installing life-saving wrong-way detection technology on 123 ramps that we've deemed high risk, and we're on track to complete 135 by the end of this year. This technology is saving lives across the state, and here in Naugatuck, there have been more than 14 activations, and all those drivers have safely turned around. We call that a self-correction. This is the second highest location next to Danbury. The system also captures video that shows nearly 80% of the drivers across the state who saw the flashing red lights self-corrected before anyone got hurt. This is one way that ConnDOT is improving driver awareness and visibility throughout the state. Our goal is to continue to expand this notification system to as many ramps as possible. I want to thank Governor Lamont, our legislature, especially one senator who could not be here who first started talking about this several years ago, Senator Fonfara. He was really pushing us to do this before we saw the huge uptick in crashes on our roadways. I urge everyone to stay safe and think about that before you get behind the wheel when you're celebrating Thanksgiving. We know the Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, is one of those deadly nights. So whether it's a designated driver, using public transportation, calling a taxi or a rideshare, let's make sure everyone makes it home safely to share the holiday. We've added additional trains to the Hartford line, and we're pausing all non-emergency road work for this weekend also to try and reduce any potential incidences. So be responsible this holiday season and do everything you can to keep yourself and others safe. Now I'd like to invite Paul Rizzo, who is our Bureau Chief of Highway Operations, to offer a few words. Paul? Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Paul Rizzo. I'm the Bureau Chief of Highway Operations for Connecticut Department of Transportation. For more than 38 years, I've called ConnDOT my home. My entire career has been spent with highway operations in service to the state of Connecticut. Throughout my career, I've responded to countless crashes on our roadways. I've seen firsthand needless and preventable tragedies because someone was driving under the influence. These fatal crashes create holes in families and tear communities apart. The wrong-way detection program is personal to me and so many of my colleagues because we've been at these scenes. We've been there with our partners at Connecticut State Police, clearing wreckage, opening the highway, and asking ourselves, why does this continue to happen? And what can we do to prevent this crisis? Because of the support of the governor and our state legislature, we were given the resources to address this crisis with new technology. I'm so inspired by the work of ConnDOT and our contracting partners this year, where we've installed well over 100 wrong-way detection systems across Connecticut. I get the wrong way alert sent to my phone, and there's 1, 2, 3, this weekend, 10 alerts sent to my phone. Staff are online communicating with state police, monitoring these, and whether it's 10 at night or 3 in the morning, drivers are entering the highway in the wrong direction. These systems activate, the driver stops, and safely turns around and self-corrects. Hundreds of lives have been saved as a result of the wrong way detection systems in just 2024. I wish we didn't need this technology, but I'm glad we have it. Thank you to my colleagues and our contracting partners who have made the Wrong Way program a priority. We'll be getting this technology in many more ramps in 2025 and beyond and continue to save lives. As we head into the Thanksgiving holiday, I urge drivers, do the right thing. Do not drive drunk or under the influence. Do not put yourself and others in danger. Slow down, pay attention, and drive sober. Again, thank you to the governor and the state legislature for providing the funding for us to continue with these resources. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Commissioner Ronald Higgins, Connecticut Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ronald Higgins, and I'm the Commissioner for the Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection. I want to let you know that just a few days ago, one of our Connecticut State Troopers faced the heart-stopping moment that no police officer or citizen ever wants to witness. That is a wrong-way driver headed straight for them in Harwington, Connecticut. The driver failed to pull over, but that trooper was able to stop him by colliding with the car. Last spring, another one of our troopers used his cruiser to successfully help stop a wrong-way driver on an I-91 exit ramp. This is what the hundreds of Connecticut State Troopers do each and every day to protect the motoring public. I am deeply, deeply appreciative of these Connecticut State Troopers who will do whatever it takes, including driving directly toward an oncoming vehicle to, again, protect the motoring public. But our troopers need more help when they are faced with confronting a wrong-way driver at 2 a.m. or at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. That's why I'm pleased with the collaboration between the Connecticut Department of Transportation and the Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection. Working together, using the new technology that's been described by speakers earlier, we can do and we are doing more to stop the surge of wrong-way drivers in the state of Connecticut. We saw the benefits of this just days ago when troopers were alerted by the Department of Transportation cameras that a vehicle was going the wrong way along an I-84 exit ramp. Thanks to an alert from the Department of Transportation Detection Services, troopers were able to bring that vehicle safely to a stop. As we talk more, as we share ideas, we're using all sorts of different techniques and strategies to make our roads safer. Specifically, our fatal mitigation strategy, which targets enforcement along hotspots known for crashes, known for speeding, and DUI arrests, has led to more arrests just this year. And I want to thank Colonel Lockman and his team for all their efforts. We know that some of the most dangerous days of the year, as has already been stated, are this week. They're before us this week. So working together, we pledge that we're going to continue to do as much as we can to keep our roads safe. At this point, I want to invite up for remarks the Governor of the state of Connecticut, Governor Ned Lamont.
Thanks for nailing everybody. Thanksgiving's my favorite holiday. It's family and friends. Sometimes your kids are coming back from school. You sit around the table, eat, drink, and be merry, but then don't get behind the wheel of a car. Rennell just reminded me that this is probably the most dangerous 4 days of the year on our Connecticut highways. And usually 10 to 20 serious injuries, fatalities, many of them alcohol related. Look, we can do a lot with technology. I really appreciate how fast the work got going with DOT, getting these wrong way flashing lines up there. You heard what Rennell said in terms of trying to head people off when they're driving the wrong way down a highway. Don't make us do it. Don't be dumb. Be safe and take the lead. It's important for you and your loved ones and everybody else on the highways as well. So I said this Wednesday night is probably the most dangerous of the year coming up. And I know what you're all thinking. I say on a personal note, state government and my office and me, we all have to lead by example. We also have to make sure that you know that each and every one of us are doing our part to keep our roads safe. And that's what I'm going to remind my team every day. I want to thank you for this, and look out for somebody. If you think they shouldn't be driving, take the keys out of their hands. We're doing what we can with technology, but the other 90% is up to you. Thanks, everybody. Anybody else want to say anything?
We'll defer to Senator Hartley first.
Senator Hartley, it's your hometown.
There you go.
Almost.
Well, George,
Yeah.
Steph,
Well,
yes. Thank you very much for being here to draw attention to such an important issue that has really, as was indicated by Commissioner, been on the upstage, the surge. I am so thankful to Governor Lamont, Department of Transportation, and DESP for the incredible quick response that they have taken and launched this initiative. It was not that long ago that we in the General Assembly lost a colleague, and all across this state we have seen this tragedy. So hats off to all of our troopers who are out there 24/7 protecting us and standing in harm's way, and to the Department of Transportation. Thank you so much.
Good morning. My name is George Cabrera. I'm the state senator. I actually share Naugatuck with Senator Hartley. Thank you all for bringing here and bringing attention to this critical issue at such an important time. I also want to thank the governor for coming here and my colleagues in the legislature. The state police, which is here and was spoken of earlier, the work they do day in and day out patrolling our highways is so critical, and they literally have saved lives. And I'll just reiterate what a lot of us are going to be experiencing the next couple of days, to echo the governor, which is true, and myself included. We're going to be at tables. We're going to be with family and friends. We're going to be enjoying ourselves. And some of us may be enjoying ourselves a little too much. It's important and incumbent upon each of us to encourage our loved ones, our friends, our family who we gather with, to take a moment if you see someone who maybe shouldn't be getting behind a wheel, to encourage them to give them a ride home, to offer them a ride share, to do our small part to make sure we keep everyone safe on Connecticut's roads this season. So thank you all for being here. Thanks.
State Senator Tony Huang. I'm the Republican leader on the Transportation Committee. I want to acknowledge the chairs, Senator Cohen, Representative Lamar, and Representative Kennedy as part of the leadership, because roadway safety is bipartisan. There is no party affiliation. The most important thing that we have advocated in the Transportation Committee is working with Commissioner Eucalito and his leadership, recognizing that roadway safety means that it's not only sharing the roads with pedestrians, bikes, and automobiles, but also understanding that our roadways are an integral part of quality of life. That being said, I think it's really important that as we rush through the holidays, and we're all guilty of it, being a little late for appointments, feeling the rush of the chaos of the holidays, take a moment, slow down, give yourself enough time to get to where you are safely. Because what we're talking about here today is ensuring that these preventable tragedies never occur. So again, if this is a reminder during the busiest week, travel week, that nerves are a little frayed and people are a little anxious, just take a step back, because ultimately it is celebrating the holidays and you want to be with loved ones. And all you need to know about these tragedies is the fact that people who have lost loved ones, those that have perpetrated the tragedy, and those who have lived with it, they will live it for the rest of their lives. So please, take a moment, slow down, recognize we're not telling you to not have a good time, but use agencies, use different vehicles to get to places. Stay off the roads if you are impaired. So again, thank you to the governor, thank you to the commissioners for the leadership, thank you all for spreading the news that be safe on the roads. Thank you.
Good morning, State Representative Seth Bronco, and I would just like to echo the statements and my thanks to the governor and commissioners for prioritizing this issue. 12 years ago, a friend of mine, not more than a mile from here, was killed when he was struck head-on by a wrong-way driver. So this is an issue that is near and dear to me, and again, I thank our legislature and our governor and commissioners for making this something to focus on. We need to make sure this is a tragedy, and these tragedies are something that never happen again, and we should be doing everything we can to prevent that from ever happening. So I'm happy to continue working on this in the upcoming session. I wish everyone a happy and safe Thanksgiving, and again, thank you.
On-topic questions?
So, how deep into the stats can you give us info on like the number of people killed in wrong-way crashes this year, the number of occurrences? You were talking about 80% the people turned around.
Yeah, so of the activations of the system, 80% of them self-corrected. So on camera, we saw that they turned around and went back down the ramp. The others were lost in the system somewhere, so they got on the road, and we don't know where they went. But we know that so far this year, there have been 13 fatalities due to wrong-way crashes on our highway system.
And what's the total number of activations, ballpark?
Activations were
195.
195.
So, what percent of those?
153.
195 activations of our system statewide this calendar year. Yes. Any other? So as of Friday, we were at 299 fatalities. So we are probably going to hit 300 any day now. You know, that is, we're on pace to be the second deadliest year since the 80s. It's a terrible feeling. So every day I wake up just expecting the worst of how many fatalities did we have on our roadways. It's a national problem. Over 40,000 people have been dying every year the past couple of years on our nation's roadways. And it's a public health crisis. It's something, if a plane crashes and 300 people die once a year, that's national headlines for weeks. We had over 40,000 people die on our roadways nationally, and it's not something that we seem to take too seriously in this country. And so in this state, we are taking it seriously. Okay. Thank you, everyone.